Hello and welcome, or welcome back, as the case may be, to the Atlantean Archive. Thank you for stopping by today, and Happy New Year to everybody out there. I hope you have a safe, joyful, and prosperous New Year. I hope we're able to avoid some of the issues that we've had to deal with in the past few years as we move forward into 2025. Unfortunately, we did rehash 2020 in this house over the past week. My wife came down pretty ill with COVID. Was down with that for several days, had a lot of other things going on too. So I had originally intended this video to be my 2024 ender, and that just did not pan out at all. So we're going to start 2025 off with this. Yeah, in spite of the fact that the Christmas tree is still up in the background, I'm one of those people that has a difficult time taking the tree down. I'll get there eventually, but I wanted to start off 2025 here with something new, something different, something I had not done on this channel before, and I thought it would be fun to host a movie. Why not? I grew up with horror hosts, those guys, you know, with the funny names and the funny costumes on Friday and Saturday nights that showed all the weird science fiction and horror movies on local TV. In the area that I grew up in, the one I was most familiar with was Dick Dyszel's Count Gore on WDCA Channel 20. Some of you, I know, have commented that you watched that. That was Creature Feature was the name of the program in the Washington, D.C. area at that time. I actually did an interview with Dick Dyszel on this channel. If you want to check that out, even if you don't know his persona, you didn't grow up in the Northern Virginia or D.C. area like I did, and you're not familiar with Count Gore, you still may find it interesting what he has to say about horror hosting and his background working in independent TV stations in the 70s and 80s. I thought that was very interesting stuff, and you may find that interesting too. So I'll put a link to that in the video description. But I thought it would be fun to, even though I don't have all the trappings of those old horror hosts, to host a film. And so I started thinking, well, what films can I do? First of all, it's got to be something in the public domain because I can't exactly afford to show Jaws on this channel. So what would I do? And several came to mind immediately. This one at the top of the list. This is one of my all-time favorite B movies. It's a mishmash of science fiction and horror, and I think it's a particularly well-done film. It's one of the best of its genre. Fangoria magazine actually listed this film in its 100 best horror films you've never seen, or 100 best horror movies you've never seen, something like that. It's an outstanding little film from 1972 called Horror Express, also known as Panic on the Trans-Siberian Express. Now, this movie was made in Madrid, Spain during the winter of 1971 to 72 at a cost of approximately $300,000. It was directed by the Spanish cult film director Eugenio Martin. And I hope I got that right. I went out of my way to make sure I would try to get that pronunciation correct. The video that I did back in November, where I listed my top 10 favorite made-for-TV horror movies, got quite a few comments to the effect that I had slaughtered Louis Jourdan as Louis Jordan. Now, in my defense, I had never heard the man's name actually spoken out loud before. I'd seen a number of things with him starring in it, but I had never actually heard the actor's name pronounced. And so I was ignorant of that. But it's kind of funny because when you go out and Google and you bring up his name, it still tells you the pronunciation is Louis Jordan. So, Louis Jourdan. I hope I got that right. But the director of this film, Eugenio Martin, well known for making cult films in Spain, directed this film, and oddly enough, it was much more successful outside of Spain than it was within the country, but it has gained a cult following over the years, and I think deservedly so. A key factor contributing to the success of this film is the strength of its cast, especially its two principal male leads, horror legends Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. These men, of course, internationally famous even in those days and instantly recognizable to anyone watching a channel like this. We all grew up with their movies, especially the Hammer films, the Dracula series in particular, but in many, many other films as well, often paired together. And this, in my opinion, is one of their best on-screen pairings. I absolutely love the two of them together in this movie. It's a little bit different than their typical fare, and I won't go into that so as not to spoil it for any of you who haven't seen the film. I'll comment a little bit more on that at the end. But I think the take on these characters that they portray in this movie was refreshing. It was a little bit different, and I enjoyed it immensely. Now, Christopher Lee in this film is his usual austere, reserved, coldly aloof self. He portrays Professor Alexander Saxon, an anthropologist who leads a team into the Himalayan mountains where they uncover a part ape, part man creature frozen in the ice for 2 million years. Saxon and his team excavate the creature from the ice, pack it up in a crate, and ship it off on the Trans-Siberian Express, where Lee intends to take it west and astound the scientific world. Lee does an excellent job with this character in this film, and it's a testimony to both his strength as an actor and also to the writers on this film, that his character, Alexander Saxon, goes through a bit of an evolution. As I said, he starts off, he's coldly aloof, reserved, even severe, but as the film progresses, his character undergoes a change. And that's not typical for movies of this genre. Usually you've got these cardboard cutout two-dimensional characters, but there's some depth to Alexander Saxon here, and Lee brings that out very, very well. I think this is one of his best roles outside of the Hammer films in the movies that he did during this particular time period. I really enjoy his character in this movie. I thought he handled it very well, and it may even have been crafted for him. I don't know. I've never read that it was, whether they had him in mind when they wrote the character or not, but he plays the part to perfection. Lee is accompanied on the Trans-Siberian Express, much to his chagrin, by a rival, a man by the name of Professor Wells. And this is Peter Cushing's character. And Cushing almost backed out of this movie. This was a very difficult time in his life. If any of you know anything about Peter Cushing, you know that he and his wife were extremely close. They had what some people would describe as a storybook romance. And Mrs. Cushing died of emphysema in 1971. Peter Cushing was devastated by the loss of his wife. And with the winter time coming up, the holiday season coming up, he fell into a bit of a depression and just did not think he was going to be able to make the movie. But it's a testimony to his character and tells you what type of man that he was, the gentleman that he was, that he actually traveled all the way to Madrid where the film was going to be made to resign from it in person rather than, sending them a Dear John letter in the mail. Now, the producer of this film, an American by the name of Bernard Gordon, turned to Christopher Lee in desperation at this time, hoping he would be able to persuade Cushing to stay on with the production. As any of you out there who know anything about these gentlemen are probably aware, Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, while they played bitter, deadly rivals in many of their roles on film, were actually the best of friends in real life. Christopher Lee turned to his friend and was able to comfort him at that time, was able to persuade him to stay on with the production. And as a matter of fact, if I remember correctly from the research that I did on this film, Peter Cushing actually moved in with Lee and his wife and daughter during this time. They were able to offer him some comfort by bringing them into their home during a very vulnerable time in his life. So he stayed on with the production, and we got this great pairing of these two cinematic horror giants. Now, even though he was going through this terrible time in his life, it's a testimony to the consummate professionalism of Peter Cushing that his personal angst does not bleed through into his role on film. His Professor Wells is warm, he's charming, and even humorous. As a matter of fact, Peter Cushing has one of my all-time favorite horror movie lines in this film. I think it's just his very British way of delivering it that makes it so funny. Christopher Lee is in the same scene with him, though, and you can see, or at least it seems to me, that when Cushing delivers that line, Lee himself wants to laugh, or at least it looks that way to me. So it's an absolutely great moment in the film, and I hope you enjoy that when you come to it. I'm sure you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, I won't go into too many more details about the plot of the film, so I don't spoil it for those who haven't seen it. But as you can imagine, with a film of this type, a creature being loaded onto a train, you've got people in this confined environment, you can already imagine at least a little bit of what's going to happen. The story, I think, is rather cleverly done. Some people will say, yeah, it's derivative of all sorts of genres, but I, for one, think it's a good story. I think it's a solid story. I don't think too much about the science as you're going along with it, but it's very well handled. Some people think that it's actually a ripoff of John W. Campbell's Who Goes There. It may be a similar idea. Maybe it was inspired by Campbell and by the original Howard Hawks Thing movie, but it's very much its own story. It takes it in its own direction. Martine handles the direction very, very well. The film moves along at a great pace. I think the photography is handled well. The writing, the dialogue, everything is great. in this movie for a film of this type. It's definitely one of the best B movies that I've ever seen and one of the best in the horror sci-fi genre. There is a strong supporting cast in the film as well. Dr. Wells is assisted by Miss Jones, who is played by American actress Alice Reinhart. She is also known for some roles that she portrayed in TV shows like Mission Impossible and Get Smart. The rest of the cast is made up of mostly Spanish actors. You have Alberto de Mendoza as Father Pujardo, who is a mad monk, basically, and an interesting character. I think he's handled very well. De Mendoza does an excellent job with him. This is another character that goes through an arc as the movie progresses, and it's not what you would expect. I thought they did a great job with this. I did not expect that when I first saw the movie. You also have Julio Pena, portraying Russian police inspector Mirov.
Mirov? Oh, Mirov. That's a good Russian name, Mirov.
And as you see from that clip, Telly Savalas, yes, Kojak himself, Telly Savalas is in this film. He's not in very much of the movie, only a short portion of it, but as you'll see in the credits, he gets top billing right along with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. And folks, his performance in this movie is just bizarre. I mean, he chews scenery like a beaver. And from what I understand, director Eugenio Martin said that Savalas improvised most of his dialogue in this movie. I don't know why that's the case. Like most Spanish movies at the time, from what I understand, Horror Express was shot mostly without sound. The actors dubbed their dialogue in later on. They added sound effects and all that sort of thing. So maybe that was part of the issue. I don't know why Savalas had to improvise. But when you watch him on screen, it is so bizarre, it's hard to look away. It's just a strange performance. And I guess his having to improvise for whatever reason helps explain that a little bit. As I watch it, I can definitely see that more. The way he's moving around and gesticulating and acting like a madman. It's just frankly bizarre and has to be seen to be believed. Again, he's not on screen very long, but he makes an impression when he's there. Other principal cast members include Helga Linné as Natasha, a mysterious character who basically forces her way into bunking with Lee and Cushing. Angel de Pozo as Yevtushenko, an engineer. And stunning Spanish actress Sylvia Tortosa, who portrays the Polish Countess Irena Petrovsky, a lady of both wealth and beauty who melts the heart of Alexander Saxon and had a similar effect on a certain 13-year-old boy who was watching this movie for the first time. So all of that by way of introduction. I won't say anything more about the plot so I don't spoil it for those of you who haven't seen it. And if you have not seen this film, but you're a lover of retro sci-fi horror, you love anything from the 1970s and anything with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee in it in particular, I think you're in for a real treat here. Again, this is one of my all-time favorites, and I think genuinely one of the best B movies ever made, certainly in this genre. Without further ado then, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, crazy on drugs or something, Telly Savalas, and Sylvia Tortosa, 1972's Horror Express.
The following report to the Royal Geological Society by the undersigned Alexander Saxon is a true and faithful account of events that befell the Society's expedition in Manchuria. As the leader of the expedition, I must accept responsibility for its ending in disaster. But I will leave to the judgment of the honorable members the decision as to where the blame for the catastrophe lies.
Sorry, there isn't a seat left.
My name is Saxon. Alexander Saxon. If you will check, you will find the telegram I sent you 3 weeks ago instructing you to reserve accommodation for me.
There's nothing I can do. Hello? Yes. Yes.
Well, look who's here. Professor Saxon, I presume?
Dr. Wells.
And what are you doing in Shanghai?
I've asked you the same thing.
Oh, I'm just collecting a few specimens. Miss Jones, let me introduce Professor Alexander Saxon. He dabbles in fossils and bones.
Glad to meet you, Professor.
How do you do?
Miss Jones has been assisting me in bacteriology. Excellent technician.
For a woman, he means.
Excuse me. 2 private compartments to Moscow, if you please.
Do you say? Will that be all?
And 3 crates of animals.
Impossible.
I know I'm asking you to perform miracles, but perhaps it will help. Thank you. It's called squeeze in China. The Americans know how.
And in Britain, we call it bribery and corruption. Now, sir, excuse me.
You... Get out!
Huh? Sir Alexander Saxon.
Yes?
Captain O'Higgins, sir. General Wang told me to find you, and to make myself useful.
Now I remember. I do have your Excellency's ticket. Your ticket, right here.
Thank you.
And the Lord have mercy on his soul. Not that he deserves it, the dirty thief. You have his things? You knew him. Krasinski, the locksmith. He could open any trunk with a hairpin.
A thief? But he was blind.
Blind? He could spot a policeman a mile away. I'll be damned.
The work of the devil.
Can I be of any assistance, Father?
This is yours.
It is, but I demand an explanation.
Whatever you have here is unholy and must be destroyed.
Inspector Mirov, what is in there, Excellency?
Fossils.
What is a fossil?
A stone.
Stones.
There wouldn't be something valuable in there, like gold.
Gold? It's a laboratory specimen. No value to a thief.
Where there is God, there is always a place for the cross. Even on this stone floor, just so. But Satan is evil. And where evil is, there is no place for the cross.
Rubbish. A conjurer's trick. Captain?
Yes, sir.
You get your men to put the crate on a train.
Ready? Lift it up. Off you go.
Where's crate C?
It's all right, sir.
It's not here.
You want to be careful with this one? Oh, thank
Follow me.
are you going to astound the scientific world with this time?
You'll read about it in the Society's annual report. It's a remarkable fossil.
Fossil? But you've got something live in there, I heard it.
You're mistaken.
You only defeat it then.
The occupant hasn't eaten in 2 million years.
That's one way to economize on food bills.
Baggage man. Alinka, what's the matter with you?
Yes, Countess?
You have a safe of valuables?
Yes, Countess. I shall make out a receipt.
Excuse me. Alinka's afraid of something. What do you have in that crate?
Oh, nothing that would interest Alinka, madame.
Normally she likes Englishmen. All we Poles do.
I'm honored, madame.
Oh yes, England. Queen Victoria, crumpets, Shakespeare.
I admire Poland, madame. I believe that there is a bond between our countries.
My husband, the Count Petrovsky, says that in the 15th century, your King Henry betrayed us to the Russians.
I hope that you and your husband, madame, will accept my profoundest apologies.
Oh, she's really afraid. I wonder what it is.
May I escort you back to your carriage, madame? Yours?
Oh, thank you. Excuse me.
Yes?
I was on the platform before when that mad monk was carrying on.
Yes?
I'm an engineer, a scientist. And this is ordinary chalk. How do you explain it's not writing on that crate?
Hypnosis, yoga. These mystics can be very convincing. They can even hypnotize themselves.
The fresh food we will pick up. Who will pay for it, sir?
Oh, just give an account of how much you spend. If someone were to drill a little hole in this crate during the night and take a look at what's inside, I'd be very grateful.
It's in order.
Help me.
In what way, madam?
Is this number 8?
That's next door, Wells compartment.
There, don't cry. Everything will be all right.
Excuse me.
Sorry, dear fellow, I'm afraid you're in the wrong pew. Here, number 8, do you see?
8A, lower berth. 8B, upper berth.
Don't worry. Look here. I was supposed to have this compartment to myself.
If you don't mind.
I'm sorry if I'm in your way.
Excuse me. I have no ticket and I have to get out of Shanghai. I'm sure I can make it worth your while.
The young lady's in trouble.
Well, what do you suggest we do about it?
Couldn't you double up with somebody else?
Miss Jones?
Steady.
I'm sure we can all get along very well together. When the Englishman comes to call, what should I wear?
Sure of yourself, aren't you? The blue one with the décolleté. Or perhaps the red one.
Not jesting with her immortal soul.
That's why we keep you, Pujardov. Our immortal souls are your concern.
She's afraid of something.
Tell me, Pujardov,
Yes.
which do you think I should wear for the Englishman? The red or the blue?
Enough. I forbid you to talk this way.
You forbid?
Forgive me, Your Excellency. My concern for the spiritual welfare of the Countess, I forgot myself. I will pray for humility.
Pray hard, Pujardov, or you'll find yourself praying for a job, too.
Hail, Father, Son, Ghost.
It's the piece I was playing. I wonder who it is.
I thought one of you might know what happened to the baggage man.
I haven't the remotest idea.
What about you?
Perhaps it had something to do with what's inside that crate.
I agree with you. He was trying to open it when something happened. What?
Fortunately, he was interrupted.
Yes. By whom? Why are you so worried about it being opened?
It may be my fault. I asked the baggage man to take a look. I was curious.
It was no concern of yours. Or of yours.
One man dead, another missing. It's time we open this box.
You will do no such thing.
Give me the key. See if you can open the crate with that. Go ahead.
The baggage man.
What was in there?
I told you, a fossil, part ape, part man. It lived 2 million years ago.
Are you telling me that an ape that lived 2 million years ago got up to that crate, killed the baggage man and put him in there, then locked everything up neat and tidy and got away?
Yes, I am. It's alive. It must be.
Lock him up. We'll search the train and find it, whatever it is, and destroy it.
But if it's alive...
I want this kept quiet. I don't want to panic the passengers.
glass is empty.
Oh, forgive me. My mind was elsewhere.
What is it?
I'm sorry. I can't tell you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Haven't we met?
I don't believe so.
Yes, at the governor's palace, General Wang.
You're mistaken.
Of course, I beg your pardon. It was somebody else. What's the matter?
The eye of that fish. It's white.
Naturally, it's boiled.
Boiled. Yes. Is it true you're a doctor? Ask me when I finish my dinner.
It's urgent.
What are the symptoms?
He's dead. You saw him.
Oh, that one. There's nothing I can do for him.
Now there's one more dead. One of my soldiers. The same white eyes. I want to know the cause of death.
Who's dead?
Keep your nose out of it. You didn't hear anything.
Excuse me. Is Professor Saxon's fossil still at large?
I think the fossil, or whatever it is, escaped. Jumped off the train.
Miss Jones, I shall need your assistance.
Yes, well, at your age, I'm not surprised.
With an autopsy.
Oh, well, that's different.
Very curious.
A genetic defect, obviously.
Scalpel?
Mm-hmm.
Can you keep that still?
Mm.
What is he doing?
Tree pen. Don't get up, please. I see you have decided to dine alone, Sir Alexander.
I've eaten in worse circumstances and in worse company. And so.
Here you are, Doctor. You're in bad humor because you've lost your box of bones. Hmm?
That box of bones, madame, could have solved many of the riddles of science. If the theory of evolution is confirmed, if the science of biology is revolutionized, if the very origin of man is determined.
I have heard of evolution. It's immoral.
It's a fact. And there's no morality in a fact.
And what about the baggage man? And that poor thief at the station?
What about them?
They are dead. Was your creature responsible for that?
Probably.
And you don't care?
A baggage man and a thief. You're right, madame. I don't care as much as I should.
Can you tell me how he died?
Smooth as a baby's bottom.
You saw this man today and he was normal.
Absolutely.
It must be a mutation, a freak of nature.
What's so special about this brain? Learning and memory are engraved on the normal brain, leaving a wrinkled surface. This brain has been drained. The memory has been removed, like chalk erased from a blackboard.
Come in.
Thank you. It's all yours.
I won't be long.
Miss, it's Dr. Wells. Miss, are you all right? Are you there? Come in.
Feeling better?
Yes. Anything wrong?
That woman who was killed. The engineer, you know, the chess player. He told me that she was an international spy.
Yes, I know.
Oh, you do? Well, could that fact have had anything to do with her death?
What do you think?
Dr. Wells and I performed an autopsy on her. Her brain was completely smooth, just like the baggage man's. Everything had been erased. Now, I have a theory about this.
I'm only a policeman, Professor. I don't have much education.
Well, I'd make it simple. Supposing that creature, the one you killed, was capable of taking ideas directly from other people's brains and transferring them to its own.
You mean it sucked other people's brains?
Absorbed through the eyes. That was our first clue. The eyes going white.
Then, if the beast had absorbed your brains, all of your education would have gone into its brain. It would have been as clever as you.
Much more so, because what it had taken from me would have been added to the learning that it already had.
Professor, spy, baggage man, and thief. What was the creature looking for?
Well, that we'll never know, now that it's dead. And yet...
What?
A creature like that. How would it ever die?
Inspector?
What is it?
I found this. The animal had it.
The animal had it?
Give it to me. It belonged to Count Petrovsky.
How do you know?
I saw him put it in the safe.
Steel, harder than a diamond. That's why the spies are after it. French, German, English. But they're wasting their time. What really matters is the formula. And that, gentleman, is safe. Up here.
What happened to the girl? The spy?
She's dead. The fossil, or whatever it was, killed her. But there's no more danger, Countess.
Beast is not dead.
I put 4 bullets into him.
You think evil can be killed with bullets? Satan lives. The unholy one is among us. Oh, Shamo, Shamo, Shamo.
Specimen jar.
What do you expect to find in the eye fluid?
I don't know.
This is incredible. What? It's the last thing the creature saw.
The police inspector.
The image has been retained in the fluid. Exactly. The creature's visual memory is located not in its brain, but in the eye itself. Can you identify anything? It's a Brontosaurus. A pterodactyl. Incredible.
This is not a map.
It can only be the Earth, seen from space.
I hope I'm not intruding. People on the train are becoming afraid, Professor.
People on long journeys become bored, madame. They crave excitement.
Then there's no more danger.
It's all finished.
And what about your science? The evolution you were talking about.
Look for yourself.
Come here, Pujado. There's something I want to show you. Look.
Bоже мой. It is the Holy Rite. On the second day he created the earth. Where did you get it?
There, from the creature's eye.
The eye of Satan.
Nonsense. There's a scientific explanation.
You know it?
No. Not yet.
For the fall, before Satan was banished from the throne of God, the evil one looked down from heaven and did see...
Rubbish!
Pujado. Where is he?
I don't know.
He's gone mad.
I look in the baggage car.
Right.
Looking for the thief, Miss Jones?
You know about it.
What's all the fuss?
You get back that eye, and there's 1,000 rubles in it for you.
1,000 rubles for an eye?
There's something in it. Pictures.
Pictures of what?
Pictures of the Earth in prehistoric times. Pictures of the Earth seen from space.
Who else has seen such pictures?
Dr. Wells, Professor Saxon, and that pretty countess.
I see. Nothing in your head of any use? Another killing.
Stop the train!
No right!
I want to get off!
There's no law!
Quiet. There's been talk about getting off the train. Well, you can forget it.
I'll complain to the authorities.
I'm not one of your musics.
If necessary, I'll shoot anyone who tries to stop the train.
Shoot! Shoot, you stupid Russian!
Who else has seen such pictures?
Dr. Wells, Professor Saxon, and that pretty countess. Wells, Saxon, countess. Wells, Saxon, countess. Wells, Saxon, countess.
Wells, is this creature dead or not? If it is, who killed Miss Jones?
Do you have any idea?
No, Inspector, I haven't, but I've asked the conductor to wire ahead to stop the train at the next station.
What's the idea? Tell me who you are. Tell me. I will serve you. I want to help you.
It's like some contagious disease.
Well, if there's a disease, there must be symptoms.
Fever? You could take everyone's temperature.
The eyes. Why do their eyes go white?
Do you think it's true what they say about those horrible white eyes?
Oh, that part is true enough.
Ah, Inspector. It's only you now.
What about me?
Your eyes. We must examine your eyes, too.
Certainly.
Perhaps you should test for radiation or other invisible rays.
X-rays? Well, it's a thought, but on this train, how would we go about it?
Are you a scientist?
An engineer, but I try to keep up with things.
That's to be admired.
Inspector, I suggest you tell all these people to stay together, in groups or in pairs, so that if anything does happen to anybody, then somebody can raise the alarm. On no account must anybody be left alone.
News of the train.
The train will be here in exactly 14 minutes.
14 minutes.
Yes, Your Honor. That's what it says here. Doesn't say it in words, Your Honor, but in code. It's like another language.
I know about telegraphs, little papa. I know about trains. I know about electrical currents. On your feet, everybody! Outside, full pack! Even though I still believe in God, I don't like to be made a fool of.
No, Your Honor. I wouldn't do that.
Tell me, little father. You believe in the devil?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, good. Send a telegram. Tell him that Captain Kazan, he knows that a horse has 4 legs. He knows that a murderer has 2 arms. But still, the devil must be afraid of one honest Cossack,
Earth gravity. You know how to measure it?
How to measure gravity?
What I would like to know is, can gravity be overcome?
If you mean, can man get beyond the gravitational field of the Earth into space? Not yet, but any day now.
Someday?
There is a mathematics professor. His name is Tsiolkovsky. He has ideas about rockets. Machines that can fly free of the Earth's gravity.
You know him?
Tsiolkovsky was one of my teachers. He was like a father to me. But why would a man like you be interested?
What do you think is behind all this, Excellency?
Look at this. That's what we saw under the microscope. It shows the Earth, as it might look from space.
What does it mean?
It means that millions of years ago, some form of intelligence, came to the Earth from another planet. The atmosphere of the Earth was new to it, different. But it learned how to survive.
How?
By entering into the body and brain of an Earth creature, the fossil that I found and brought with me.
And this thing from another planet survived the fossil, then came to life again?
Exactly.
Go on, Professor.
The animal that you shot was only the host. And when that animal died, the alien intelligence transferred somehow to another host. It's alive in someone on this train.
You're a very good detective. You discovered everything except who is now the host.
And that's our next step.
Thought this might come in handy.
Oh, good idea.
Two of you together. That's fine. But what if one of you is the monster?
Monster? The British, you know.
But you must have seen something.
I told you, I was asleep. He knew about the white eyes. He told me.
When you fell asleep, the lights were on. And when you woke up?
They were off.
Are you sure?
Positive. It was dark. I put the lights on. And that's when I found him beside me.
When we did the test, the lights were on.
Master.
Inspector.
This steel at high temperatures, what happens to it?
It gets stronger. What temperatures, for example?
10 or 12,000 degrees.
Where on earth would you get such temperatures?
Nowhere on earth.
Of this. I'll have you sent to Siberia.
I am in Siberia.
This is Countess Irina Petrovska. And I'm Count Marian Petrovsky.
Oh, Your Excellencies, I'm sorry. Of course, the Count and Countess are exempt from our orders. Please, escort them to their car. Peasants!
Are you a countess?
I'm an American, and I'm not accustomed to being bullied by foreigners. That man, he's the one who wouldn't let us get off the train. He's responsible.
Your Excellency, I'm a police inspector.
Everybody's under arrest. Including you. Who are the killers? Who are the troublemakers? Who are the foreign influences, huh? Oh!
Don't worry. I'll smoke them out. What's he raving about?
You English believe in free speech, don't you, huh?
Certainly. If instead of babbling nonsense, you'd investigate this properly.
Oh, this is outrageous.
So, you're a police inspector, huh?
Yes, Captain. Mirov is my name.
Mirov? Oh, Mirov. That's a good Russian name, Mirov. Tell me, Mirov, what do you know about all the filth that's going on here, huh?
Filth?
Oh, come on, Inspector. Certainly you know what I'm doing here, don't you? You just point out the suspects, and I promise you I'll get the truth out of them.
You're mistaken, sir.
Mistaken?
Fool! Get back! Get back! Back! Or I will put the curse on your heads. He has the evil eye.
Huh?
Beware the wrath of Satan.
Cool, huh? On your knees, monk.
We must try and stop this.
He was trying to protect you. Why?
He's mad.
Who are you?
I told you, a policeman.
One look at them and you're dead.
Coming to me, Satan. Thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory. Thy will be done on earth as it is in hell.
Now, anything that moves near that door, kill it!
But what if the monk is innocent?
We got lots of innocent monks. All right, let's move these peasants out of here. Quickly!
Please, little tricks in a strong light.
You. I'll be all right. Go on.
You take this.
Right.
You know, in spite of everything, Pujatov had a certain affection for you. Yet you humiliated him often, even in front of the Countess.
It's too late.
I see you hanged.
Poor monk. He loved you more than he loved the promise of heaven.
Over there. Quickly, over there. You mean him behind me?
It would be a mistake to kill me.
Who are you?
In words, it's difficult. I am a form of energy occupying this shell.
Where do you come from?
Another galaxy. I came with others like myself. I was left behind. An accident. I survived in protozoans, fish, vertebrates. The history of your planet is part of me. Pull the trigger, and you will end it.
What am I to do with you?
Let me go.
That's not possible.
It is possible. I will teach you to end disease, pain, hunger.
Wait!
There's something more.
Saxon! Thank God! Stand back, please. Make room.
Says to stop the express when it goes through the switching point.
Hey, that means killing everybody on board.
That's what it says. Maybe there's a war. Maybe it's war.
Well, there you have it, folks. Horror Express 1972. I hope you enjoyed the film, especially if that was your first time getting to see it. This is such an old favorite of mine. There are so many things that, in my opinion, cause this film to stand out above other sci-fi horror-type films, low-budget films that were made in the same era. One of those, of course, is that great pairing of Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. And this film is a little different from many of their films in that they are not only not enemies trying to kill each other through this whole film, but they're both alive at the end. Yeah, both alive and on the same side. So that was interesting to see. I think their chemistry works so well in this movie. Now, Horror Express debuted in theaters 2 days after another Lee Cushing vehicle that many of you will recognize, and that is Dracula, AD 1972. Not one of my favorite Hammer films. I don't think it's one of the better of the Dracula series, but it does have its fans. But it was interesting. You know, at that time, Christopher Lee's star especially was on the rise. But he and Cushing were both, you know, internationally famous. Cushing was just a few years away from Star Wars, and then Lee would go through various roles over the years and ultimately end up toward the end of his life revitalizing his career, of course, with the Lord of the Rings films and as Count Dooku in the Star Wars series, which kind of brings him back full circle there with Peter Cushing. That's mostly, of course, what younger people recognize him as today, whereas for my generation, he was Dracula. But so many things that could be said about this film as well. Another aspect of it, I think, that stands out is the soundtrack is actually quite good. That I love that theme that they whistle throughout the movie. The composer was John Kakavas, who was a friend of Telly Savalas and went on to work on the Kojak TV series. He was chief composer for the Kojak series. So that's kind of an interesting tie-in with that. But yeah, I like that tune. And every once in a while, I find myself whistling that during idle moments. For some reason, it's just really stuck in my head over the years. Other aspects of this film we could talk about, you know, I've already mentioned a lot of background. Telly Savalas's performance there, just off the chain. I think you know what I mean by that now if you hadn't seen this film before. Definitely keeps you riveted to the screen. Now, as you might expect, most of the individuals who starred and were involved with the film in various capacities have passed on. Of course, we lost Peter Cushing and Telly Savalas in the 1990s, Christopher Lee in 2015, and director Eugenio Martin passed away in 2023 at the age of 97. So yeah, he lived to be quite old. That pretty countess, Silvia Tortosa, passed away just this past year, March of 2024, at the age of 78. But there are still a couple of actors who were involved in this film who are alive. Helga Linné, who plays Natasha, is 92 years old. And Angel de Pozo, who played the engineer Yevtushenko, who gets so much abuse through this movie. Seems like everybody's on his case. He is now 90 years old. Yeah. Yevtushenko's character in this film reminds me of Sulu in the third season Star Trek episode, That Which Survives. It seems like whoever wrote that episode did not like Sulu. Everybody's heaping abuse on him in that. And Yevtushenko gets the same treatment in this film.
Who's dead? Keep your nose out of it. You didn't hear anything.
So let me know what you think in the comments. Give me some feedback on this. Did you like the film? Did you not like it? What did you think about the performances and the story in general? Am I right in saying that this is a better film than most that were made in the sci-fi horror genre around that time? Or am I wrong about that? Let me know your thoughts on that. If you enjoyed this film, please give this video a like. Please consider subscribing to the channel and consider sharing the content with anyone that you think may be interested. And until next time, God bless and Happy New Year again.
Thought this might come in handy.
Oh, good idea.
The two of you together, that's fine. But what if one of you is the monster?
Monster? We're British, you know.